What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, AmericanMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to be talking about Night Bitch. This is a second look at Night Bitch. The first time I saw it, it was through a screener that did not offer me audio description, so I was not able to give a firm grade. I gave a floating grade. What did that mean? It mean it floated around, it bounced around, uh, and because obviously there are a lot of visual elements to Night Bitch. Um, that require audio description for me to be able to assess and understand and put it all together. But anyway, this is still written and directed by Marielle Heller. That didn't change. And it stars Amy Adams with a little bit of Scoot McNairy in there, a little scoot, uh, scoot. But yeah, it's Amy Adams all day, every day. It's the reason why you're watching this movie, and it's oddly got pushed onto Hulu before Real Pain, even though Real Pain was released theatrically before Night Bitch. Just so weird. And but yet, like, I was looking at VOD platforms. Night Bitch isn't available on VOD, but A Real Pain is. I don't understand Fox Searchlight. I'm so confused. So, um, yeah, I guess they just gave up. They were like, you know what? It's not going to happen for her. So let's just drop this on VOD and make it look cool. Let's maybe she'll get something if we get people talking about the film. Um, I mean, she's really good here. Amy Adams is fantastic. She's got to be one of my favorite actresses working right now. She consistently turns in really great performances, even in films where you wouldn't expect her to. Like earlier this year, I reviewed Hillbilly Elegy, and she's really good in Hillbilly Elegy. Like, a lot of people hate that movie. They hated it before, by the way, not like now, where it's maybe you hate it for different reasons. But people didn't like that movie back in the day. And, but objectively, she's great in it. And she's giving a performance like she showed up. She was here. She was like, I'm in a Ron Howard movie. There's Glenn Close. Let's do this. Like, let's rock this. It's a really good performance. And she does that every single time. Like, Amy Adams shows up regardless of what she's in. Even if you think, like, all the way back to Talladega Nights, she's really cute and funny in Talladega Nights. She's just in anything that she's ever been in. Um, it just works. She's just the kind of person who makes it work. And here, she carries the hell out of this movie. She just devours Marielle Heller's script. She makes this character feel so relatable, so believable. This mother that is trying to figure out, it's not really postpartum depression that she's speaking on, it's just the idea, the concept of the loss of oneself while raising a child. Like, this has become your entire life. You had one, you did other things. Now this is all you do, is this one thing. And having a husband that comes in and out and is not really the most helpful guy ever. Like, she can't even like lay on the couch for a few minutes without him like asking her for really basic things. I love that scene, by the way, when he's like, oh, I'll give him a bath. And she's like, oh, thank God, I can just rest for a few minutes. And she tries to rest, but he keeps calling her for things like, hey, can you give me a sippy cup? Hey, can you give me this? Hey, can you give me... And it's like, dude, you are defeating the purpose of her resting. And she's an incredibly sympathetic character. Even if you're not a mom, if you just have a mom, it's just going to be like, damn, my fault, my bad for being here. But Scoot McNairy has really got the shit stick here because his character is like inherently unlikable because like you can see that she's sort of like 24/7 having to do this, and he plays somebody who has to like travel for work. So he's gone for like long stretches of time. And so when he comes back and she's expected to have to do, it has so much commentary in it on that side. But then Marielle Heller decides to make it like a euphemism, you know, that, like, to make it, uh, to try to draw this parallel and this journey where she just wants to break free from this life, right? She wants to run free, run with the dogs. So she literally starts turning into a dog. And it's and that's I think that's the thing that's breaking people on this film is it's a bold choice. So is the substance though. And the substance, when you focus the whole thing on motherhood, I mean, when you focus the substance is all focused on beauty. So the fact that body horror is brought into it, in terms of beauty and aging being the sort of like the central themes of the substance, and body horror becomes an element of it, feels like it directly supports that when you're talking about like identity and having um, a, a loss of your former self. I don't know that necessarily changing into something that you weren't before and running with the pack necessarily is the right uh, marriage in this story, you know, is the right thing that pairs with your theme and with what you're trying to say. Um, it would have made more sense for her to have had some other experience that had her living like a double life and not knowing it, and trying to like find this other part of herself, but just essentially just like running free and chasing cats and well killing cats or whatever, and um having this weird relationship with the dogs, and maybe uh you know, the insinuation of who are these other dogs, by the way, and you know, is this kind of what all mothers do? um I don't know that it works. I don't know that that part 100% supports what she's trying to say. I don't know that it's 100% supports. It oddly leads her to a better place at the end, where Amy Adams is finally starting to get some sort of semblance of herself back, where she works in art, and works in an art gallery before this, and then like her friends are really snooty, and you're kind of like, do you even want to go back to them? But it's weird because Marielle Heller plays her as like that. I hate to say it, but that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like the one at the table that is, you know, she goes out with her friends and her friends are all having, and then like Amy Adams is the one that tells a story about her kid, and all of her friends just kind of stare at her like she's an idiot. And I'm like, this is our protagonist, man. This is our, and up until this point, she has had biting commentary on everything. Everything. And I've loved every single moment of it. But then Marielle Heller turns it on Amy and is like, well, now you're the loser. And some of that stuff just didn't work for me. Some of the choices, um, of watching Amy trying to maneuver through kind of a messy dialogue on what it is to have to be a woman, and the expectation that you are the one who has to rear the child, and what does that mean for the life you used to know. It changes a lot. It's like at first we're getting all of this great stuff from Amy Adams, and a lot of it is through inner thought, and it's fantastic, and she has, you know what I'm saying, and there are even some little moments, even the table scene, she starts turning around because there's another woman who has a kid, and when she's like, how do you do that? And she's like, oh well, I have a nanny. So she's not doing really what Amy does. So but then she, like, the table isn't even paying attention to her. It's like she's persona non grata simply because she mentioned her kid at the table. It's just uh so then, like, I guess she doesn't have, so she has to find a new pack. I was trying to follow like all of the logical thought that Marielle, because I think she's a brilliant writer and has proven that before, with films like Can You Ever Forgive Me? So, and there's so much in the script. There's so much richness to the script, and so much of the writing that is like A plus. I mean, some of the insights that Marielle has are phenomenal. Um, but some of the stuff just doesn't work. It doesn't gel. It doesn't necessarily connect in the way, or she doesn't make it connect in the way that makes sense to the what happened to the person I was, because she wasn't a dog before, you know. There isn't even necessarily a mention of I loved dogs a lot. Like, why are dogs her spirit animals? She could turn into anything. You know, why dogs? That's like a question that isn't even uh really answered. Is to, I mean, she goes to the library and she pulls out books, right? And she's like, the librarian's trying to help her. Like, the librarian maybe knows what's up. It's like, I don't know, maybe you should check out that book over there. See what you know. Because she's growing fur. But yeah, so it's I don't know. And as far as body horror goes, is it not, I mean, between us and the substance, like, are we really, is it like a competition? Because the substance is uh, I don't think anything straight up horror movies with like I don't think that, I mean, I didn't see Terrifier, but I would not be surprised if people who saw Terrifier 3 told me that the substance was gorier. Like, that would not surprise me. People would be like, actually, I don't know, the Terrifier franchise got beaten this year. I don't, shit, damn. But no, it's not that gory, but the audio description does support a lot of the things, and there are some light horror elements to it, which is going to put people at arm's length who aren't expecting that, you know. And sort of like the transformation. She did some sort of interesting things with like animal skulls and stuff like that at the end, which is like, how did you get these animal skulls? But um, she, I think probably the moment that stood out to me the most, well, other than the fact of her being able to sort of explore her body and explore these gray hairs and stuff like that that are coming, or the white hairs, fur that's coming out, coming from her body. That whole scene, which is, she doesn't really talk. She's not like, oh my god, what is this? Is this a hair? You know, I mean, that whole scene made more sense now. Um, but there's a scene where period blood drops into the shower, and yeah, well, you know, I mean, that's life, right? But it was mentioned in the audio description, and if I'm trying to single out sort of like a moment that supports maybe the slight horror lean this movie has, that'd be one of them. Um, if you like animals, this movie's not for you. She does, as a dog, dogs don't like cats. So in her, well, I would say in her dog face, I don't even know as a dog if that's the right. Anyway, she attacks a cat, but yeah, yeah. There's some stuff. There's some stuff that really made sense here and was brought together with the audio description. But the reason I like Night Bitch was all the stuff I liked the first time is still there. The inner monologue stuff, and Amy's performance is what carries this movie. And Marielle's writing at some points is perfect. It's like pitch perfect. Her certain assessments at certain moments are just biting. But then in others, it's like, what is it that you were trying to say here? You know, that she just needs to break free. I want to break free. I kept expecting that song to play. I was like, it's gotta come. I want to break free. You know, um, it's yeah, it's a mixed bag for me. Originally I gave it a floating grade of a B plus, mainly because of Amy's performance. But now that I understand the totality of the movie, this is why floating grades happen, because sometimes they float down. I did like Night Bitch, and Amy is giving one of the best performances of the year, no question. But the movie struggles to keep up with her. I'm gonna give Night Bitch a B. I still think people should watch it because of Amy. I actually think this is closer to being one of Amy's better performances than it is maybe some of the other people this year that are trending. Just because she clearly dominates this in a way that the film becomes her. Like the reason to watch the movie becomes Amy Adams. Whereas she's not just in a movie like Vice, where it's like, she's not the reason to watch that movie, or American Hustle. Like, this is better than that. This is better than those performances. So, if you were to sort of look at them objectively. So, yeah. So that's Night Bitch. That's my official final grade for Night Bitch is B. I like the movie, but I didn't love it. I wanted to go on this journey, but it's just, I'm not sure it's the right one. But part of it is brilliant. So that's it. Yeah, I'm a guy, whatever. And you're a guy, you don't get it. And it's like, oh, I know I got it. I picked up what was being put down and got it twice now. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.